Good evening, everyone. It is daylight savings on a Monday, 5 o'clock, kind of a random time. I know, not the normal time, but I've been gone for about a week. So I wanted to kind of go out with the community and kind of just let everyone know what I've been seeing lately in the markets and all that. Hope everyone's having a good Monday. It is dark as darkness out here in Seattle, but it's all good. Um, I don't think Fedora will be joining me today, obviously, because in the chat he says I'm here, but can't join because out people. That's all good. We'll just kind of roll with what we got now and all that good stuff. But yeah, I was in Mexico for I want to say 5 days. It was great. It was awesome. Had a good time. But now I'm just back in the swing of things and just trying to get caught up on everything. I did kind of watch what was going on in the kind of like in the markets and all that, as far as collecting and all that good stuff. It looks like there's a little bit of an uptick on certain books, and there's other books that just are kind of what the NFT market did as well. I just don't think anything's going to happen in regards to pushing those books back up, whether it be indies, whether it be failed D, E, F, characters or characters that had a huge kind of start, out the gate to now they're just, really uncertain with what's going on. I think the Loki show is really good. I think Loki's doing a really good job storytelling wise. It's definitely that show that people are, not really watching, or sorry, are tuning in to watch because they really enjoy it. A lot like I think The Last of Us kind of had that same kind of catchy feel, but other than that, the riskiness of the future Marvel, even DC, to a point, like DC hasn't really done a really great job. And so I think comics are, you're getting the old school collectors with, are smart to kind of wait on the sidelines and scoop up these fairly priced books in August. And, and I think August is kind of like the downturn from what I saw, but, going into the holiday season and with conventions, it gets really tough to, it gets really tough to sell books, but it's a great opportunity to buy books as well. Before I kind of go into the show, I want to say what's up to the chat. What's up, Renee? Thanks for joining today. Joshua Davis, always coming through, supporting, and appreciate you, dog. And Fedora, like I said, he is here, but he's out with people enjoying his Monday night. I don't blame him, man. Hardworking dude. So anyway, I hope everyone's day is going well. Again, gloomy Monday here in Seattle, but so gonna do a slab giveaway today. So screw it. Yeah, let's do a slab giveaway and do a couple other things as well. And real quick before we get started, want to let everyone know that we do have a new server. It's called the Nameless server. I'm gonna copy a link right here just to put it out there. The Epic Book guy is not having time selling. Yeah, everyone has talked about Epic Nation, and I guess I don't know. I that's not really my cup of tea. Not so much like I enjoy the heck out of it. Like, don't get me wrong, but I don't know enough about Epic Nation and all that. I watched Keep It Thorough's show when it first came out. He was quick on the jump there. Again, a lot of the community involved and all that good stuff. Let me see if I can find his presentation or his page here. But yeah, if you guys don't know, this gentleman right here, Epic Nation, stole some books from a fellow seller. He's a Whatnot seller. He's been on there for a long time. Nick GQ watches him as well, or was really good friends with him as well. They had a falling out. Just kind of a weird dude, man. Like, just
I'd like to make
it's not conducive for the community. But if you're trying to get a little more info or just want to just watch a little bit of what's going on, yeah, Keep It Thorough. He's all over it, as well as our boy Brian McClay at Beyond Wednesdays. He did a little bit of a show and actually had Nick GQ on the show this past Saturday. I haven't watched it yet, but I definitely will. Kind of getting his side of the whole take. And yeah, it's total comic book drama, man. I don't really report on the comic book drama. It's just not my thing. But I love, like I said, I'm not hating on it. I'm not very good at it. But what's up, Kingdom Nerds? After this show, definitely go drop a look-see into Kingdom of Nerds. I think they're going on in about an hour, so I'll try and keep this one brief, as well as Tales from the Flip Side. I'm gonna do a quick drop on them here. Kingdom of Nerds. Kingdom of Nerds. Hold on. But they're going on at 6:10 today. So here's the link for KON. Good peeps, good dude. Yeah, go through and check them out. And yeah. Real quick, I wanna kind of go over some things. I'm not sure if anyone's read Spider Boy yet, but I've heard it's got okay kind of crossovers. And I was kind of thinking about this over my time in I know the first cover came out, or the first issue of Spider Boy came out. And whether it's good marketing, whether it's good timing, or whether it's just good old fashioned good writing and a character that people will come to love, or I don't know, accept, whatever, all that good stuff. This Bailey kid's doing pretty well. I think there's a little bit of mystery, like there's kind of intrigue, like what's gonna be his nick, or what's gonna make him tick and all that good stuff. But so far, I heard Spider Boy's doing pretty well. The first appearance, was out hot out of the gate. If you FOC that book, you're making, buying several copies at $3 a copy and then selling them for 40, which is great. Oddly enough, though, the book has gone down a little bit. However, it's still held up 20, $25. And yeah, Fedora Khan, man, he's one of the younger dudes in our chat here, and he thinks the first issue was great. So I mean, I think for me, that's enough intrigue for me to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna definitely check it out. So I'm gonna go for it. So, if anyone else has read about it in the chat, maybe if you're like post 40, mid 40s, probably not. But I'm definitely curious to do some of my own research, buy a copy, and then give it to my niece and nephews and use them as kind of bait and see if they actually dig the character. I know obviously, a lot of the arguments or the discussions, if you will, are about Miles Morales being like this this modern times Spider-Man, which it's arguably a good argument. You can say whether or not you can make the argument whether Peter's is still the original Spider-Man, which he is, but do kids more resonate with Peter or they do with Miles? And I mean, I can't say definitively yes, but there's definitely a consideration that, I think he is. I think for right now, a lot of kids just they resonate with Miles Morales just because. But Peter Parker, to me, I mean, he was my Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire is still my favorite Spider-Man. But I dig Miles. I mean, I think it's cool. And here's another reason why I think both can kind of exist in itself because of this thing right here. Hold on a second. This game right here. Spider-Man 2. I don't know if anyone's played it, but I cannot freaking wait. I just downloaded the game. Don't tell my wife. I don't know if she's watching. Oh, she's not watching. Is she watching? I hope she's not watching. Anyway, yeah, I download it. I mean, you got both Spider-Mans on in there, but spoiler alert, 5, 4, 3, 2. I think Null is showing up in this game. I haven't played it yet. I know my homeboy, who's also in the Discord, Wade, Jizzy Gillespie, he beat it and said it was a really good game. I'm probably gonna download Modern Warfare as well, but I'm not sure. So we'll see about that soon. Anyway, yeah, I just think it would be really interesting to see what if Spider-Boy does actually take off. And oh man, you're smart. I couldn't help myself. I saw that dude on your channel. Yeah, I saw you playing that on your channel. Good stuff, dude. I'm just really curious, what if Spider-Boy for some reason resonates with younger kids, 3 to 4 years old that are whatever, I don't know. It'll be fascinating to watch that kind of go through and all that good stuff. But yeah, again, just a little quick show. We're 10 minutes in. Thanks everyone for watching. We got 7-8 in the chat now. I will be doing a slab giveaway of a fairly big slab, I would say. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the show here. Brad, Southpaw Brad is going to be he's going to be joining me in a second here. Good friend. We do the Sunset the Stout show as well together. Yeah, so it should be pretty cool to have him on in a little bit. But yeah, again, I just kind of wanted to do a quick. I can confirm Spider Boy and Miles is seen a lot among my nephews, all under 5. See, I mean, right there. And so if I I'm curious to see like what was the reason to do another spider character? Is it just and it's definitely risky, you put all that focus on a brand new spider character and then hope it catches on with a very widespread amount of demographics. It's pretty risky. Um, but I mean, this is why these guys get paid the big bucks, right? Dan Slott's a master marketer. Um, interesting. Interesting, good stuff. It'll be so far so good. 20 to 25 bucks in this market is very strong for a new character. I can't think of another character in 2023 that has done the same kind of same kind of reaction to the market and has held strong. Um Definitely they've like reintroduced like new series for characters like Static, which I think is pretty fun. But I can't think of like a major like this was a really good job that Dan Slott and Marvel did of introducing a new character in kind of a risky environment um, for people to kind of be intrigued by. I think there's a lot of intrigue behind Spider Boy. So yeah, I guess let's see. I just got Spider-Man 2. Cool. Yeah, sweet, man. Cash grabs. Cash grabs, yeah. And a cash grab that's worked too, right? I don't think it's speculation to where like I think people bought 5 copies and then kept 2 because they liked the character. It's because I kind of feel that way. And yeah, it's a shame that Sony can write better Spider-Man stories than Marvel can. And don't you think it's kind of funny, Kingdom of Nerds, that there's more focus on the video game than the actual like movie? I don't know. Just for me, like, well, actually, the movies were great. The movies are pretty good. But yeah, Sony does like a really good job with it. It's so weird. Oh, you brought several. Cool, cool, cool. Good stuff. Yeah, I had like 5 copies. I have like a bunch of second prints. Um, do people joke about Miles when he was introduced the same way we joke about Spider Boy? I don't know. I think I did, honestly. And the man, the legend, the myth. Did I just say it again? Sorry. Southpaw Brad is in the house. What's up? What's up, Brad? Thanks for joining me, man.
Sure, man. Pleasure.
Um,
I'm getting called into the bullpen, so I have no idea what called in from the bullpen, so I have no idea what's going on, but I am here to help.
no, no, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, appreciate you coming through. Yeah, to calling the lefty to close out the game.
That's
We're
right.
just doing a quick little, just doing a quick little show, and then doing a slab giveaway at the end. Of a Black Panther 2 second print. I have several copies of it. And I just figure we want to thank everyone for we crossed the 400 subscriber mark. So that was really exciting. We did that while I was on vacation, which is even
That's
cooler.
awesome.
Yeah, thank you, man. And people know you in the chat too, my man. So yeah. So yeah, Brad, like, just doing a market kind of like, kind of a update. I This list is kind of funny. Like I was going through it and I was thinking like, okay, what have I seen? Like, you know, you see the Deadpool first appearances, like any Marvel flick that's coming through, um, option news, comic books, but like there's other books that like I feel like that aren't on top 10 or market lists that either we've kind of forgot about them or just haven't thought of. And the books I kind of chose ranged from like $3 to 1,000. So kind of a random like deal. Before I get into it, man, like I don't think I've even asked you this lately, but have you been like on the hunt for books? Or are you just kind of being conservative like myself?
Being somewhat conservative,
Uh,
just by nature of what we do, it's like
yeah,
our careers. Uh,
right.
in when the housing market and that kind of stuff goes. I'm probably more conservative than I wish I needed to be, right?
Mhm.
Because I mean, I'm always scouring and kind kind of what you do on Instagram and in the Discord and stuff. Uh,
Mhm.
that always inspires me to kind of just check things like books that I may have looked at a while back, and I think um, I think it would be this would be a totally different show, but I think it would be interesting to talk about. I think speculation is definitely changing, and what you look for is changing because I don't know that the shows have that much impact on the books anymore.
Mhm.
Um, and part of it is that the characters are it's not they don't match the comics as
Mhm.
much as maybe I would like because I kind of honor I like that I like I really like when it's true to the comics and they change things. We got in this, there's a little stretch there where with the MCU they change things just for the sake of changing things, and
Mhm.
I think that kind of I think Taskmaster is kind of the thing that set it off a little bit,
Oh,
where
yeah.
such
Good
a
point.
cool book, like such a cool first appearance in the comics,
Mhm.
and when they change that, it's like, well, gosh, I mean, what's everything's nothing's safe, nothing powers are not sacred, nothing's sacred anymore. So
Mhm.
the MCU is its own animal. So I think that kind of um, soured that for people. But I still look, and every once in a while I'll pick up, I'll see something I just can't pass up.
Yeah.
I'm probably a little more conservative than I wish needed to be. You
Gotcha. Yeah, no, and yeah, the reason I ask is because like, I mean, I'm definitely it's gotten to a point where for me, it's not only like am I very picky on stuff because of like the lack of just speculation, quote unquote, and funds, Um, I think it's just like room, like literally like I'm so sick of my slabs. I'll just be honest. Like I just like I'll put them on eBay just to like take a loss on them and whatever. And people will be like, "Why are you getting rid of your books?" I'm like, "Cause I have too much shit. Like I just need to get rid of it." Um, and I just don't yeah, I just don't feel I haven't gotten my LCS in like 3 weeks, and it's not because I was on vacation, it's because I just don't feel like driving, to pick up these books that I'll read for 5 minutes, and it's, like, pretty good stuff, but, like, nothing's really like there's that excitement. I think I had it with Incredible Hulk earlier this year, and now it kinda weighed down a little bit. Um, I'm intrigued by this Spider-Boy stuff, but even before, like, this whole, like, craze of going to a store and finding a $3 book and flipping it for, like, 100, even after that was, like, done, like, I had kind of an interest of wanting to go get a comic book on Wednesdays and have that feeling, but I don't know, maybe it's just comic book fatigue. Maybe I just read too much about, like, "Oh, this book's, like" maybe I just get, like, annoyed by people just trying to make money off just like Epic Nation, for example. I'm gonna say it, whatever. Um, that it kind of left like a bad taste in my mouth and all that. But mostly it's just like, oh man, I think I was getting like 8 titles at some point. I was like, I know it's not like a lot, but for me it's a ton. I took it down to like 4. And
I've scaled back also, and I do read a fair amount now. Now,
Mhm.
one of the things I've enjoyed is I'll go every 3 to 4 weeks
Mhm.
and pick up my books, and then I'll just binge read, and I just love
That's
doing
cool.
that. I might have like a couple because I'm right now I'm pulling Batman, Detective Comics, um, a couple of the like a couple of miniseries like Dark X Men, Uncanny Avengers, because there's kind of a tie-in with what's going on with the X Men there.
Yeah.
But I tell you one that I've mentioned it to you before, and
Uh-huh.
I'm reading Hulk, but having read Hulk and stayed on this other title, Ghost Rider, dude, it is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I picked up a couple issues, and I mean that's one I can't find back issues on anywhere. So
Yeah.
that's to me that's cool, and I guess like also like I'll get into the slides in a little bit here. Um, but yeah, I guess I just wish I you know for the LCSs, man, I just feel like if you're an LCS that buys like it consistently has to just have new stuff, right? Subscribers, and that's like your meat and potatoes for your profit for your company. You're probably hurting really bad right now. If you're uh, a comic book shop that just does back issues and just buys collections and goes through it, you're probably okay, but you're definitely not as good as you were 6 months ago. Um,
The one that my pull list is at, they actually have, I think the bulk of it's called Scratch and Spin,
cool.
and the bulk of their business is like used and new records, and they've got used CDs, they've got used video games, they've got
Mecca.
movies, pops, but they have. I just like the customer service, and I really like the owner a lot.
Yeah.
Super nice guy. So I have my pull list with him, but I think that's how he's doing it. Is it's not the bulk of his business, but it's a probably a
Mhm.
pretty fair amount of his business. But he
Sure.
supplements it with other things.
That's
So
cool.
yeah,
Y Yeah, I mean, yeah, just kinda thinking about that business-wise and all that. Um, uh, and, you know, speaking of this is the one last thing I'll touch on, and then I'll get into the slides, but, yeah, there's the MCU Blade reboot. You know, Renee or Dragon's Den in the chat, last night, he was, you know, mentioning this and how, like, you know, "Oh, it's great that, you know, we got you know, Blades kind of has a, you know, the reboot is gonna go to filming and whatnot. But like what you mentioned earlier, man, like it doesn't make me want to go out and buy Blade books. Like it just it's that initial kind of it's like gone. And now it's kind of like, well, you know, it's you know, fool me once, shame me, you know, what's that saying? Fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, right? So I, and like whenever there's like a new announcement stuff, like I don't really care. Like I just I don't feel the urge to like, oh shoot, I gotta get that, you know, I gotta get that book, or I gotta like, you know, I have to speculate what ties into this and da 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 da. Like I'm just tired of it. Um,
oh, it was like the Matrix, dude. You like go down a rabbit hole and like,
eh,
oh, here this is the first meeting of so and so, and I was into all that, man. I fell hard for it, but I think what we're learning is that you can be patient with some of
mhm,
these things. There's
yeah,
it's not it just felt like there was such a this is my only opportunity to get this, and we know that's not accurate.
right,
There's um and it things go, we see ups and downs. I mean, we're in the real estate and mortgage business, and um we see things go up and down in that, and it'll come back around for comics as well. I think it'll come back around for comics.
yeah. I agree. I agree. Earlier in the show, I was saying like there's you know the shift has now been like your kind of meat potatoes, like comic books are still doing pretty well, but like your D, E, F indies are risky to invest in, quote unquote. Um, they may never come up from the depths, which a lot happen in like the NFTs, right? Or to a majority of NFTs. There are NFTs that are performing well. I'm not saying that all NFTs are bad, but I think of like Gary Vee saying like 99% of NFTs just are never going to come back. So you're holding the bag in those regards. You might as well just sell and take the loss. Um, I don't know. I mean, I thought the show was good, but the show came out and it, you know, a year later, like there's not another one. I thought there was gonna be another one coming during Halloween, and now we're almost I mean we're Thanksgiving, you know, like it's too late. Um,
I was the same way. I thought it was the Halloween special was going to be something every year, like
yeah.
a Halloween special and a Christmas special every year. But I don't know whether or not they ever intended for that to be the case.
Mhm.
I don't know, but I have to think that them pumping the brakes on stuff and rethinking things maybe affected. If they
Yeah.
ever thought of doing it annually, it probably was affected somewhat by, hey, we just kind of need to pump the brakes a little bit. And
Yeah, which is okay, man. Like, reset, man. Like, great football teams do it all the time. So, okay, real quick, just want to thank the 12 in the chat. I will reward you at the end of the show, so do stay until the end of the show. I'm giving a 9.8 slab away, so I'm giving basically free money away today, just as a thank you for hitting that 400 subscriber mark. But yeah, let's get into the show. Hold on one second. Again, just doing it like what I always do, talk about the comic market and specifically trying to find some random ones that maybe people haven't thought of, or maybe you're just curious about, or maybe like, oh shoot, I remember that book. I was looking for that in 2021 and 2022 when it was $550 more than it should have been. Might be buying opportunity. I don't want to say buy the dip on these guys. I want to say more so like, hey, if you think it's worth this much, it may actually be worth this much today. Um, I don't know if this is the bottom of the market or if this is like another uptick, then we hit another bottom. It's, I was on vacation in Mexico last week, and the Fed came out and said, "Hey, we're not going to raise rates." The 10-year slipped by 50 basis points, and that helped my main job quite a bit. Um,
We're gonna need you to go out of town more often, actually, if that's the news we get on for the Wednesday show. A little shout out to Sunset to South.
Yeah. What I'll do is when the Fed has a meeting, I'll just go on vacation for 5
There you
days,
go.
and then and we'll talk about the following Wednesday. Um, and yeah, I'll do the sunset to shout out at the end here. We'll be doing a show on Wednesday for sure. So, um, hey man, yeah, after the show, guys, catch Kingdom of Nerds. They'll be doing a show in about half hour or maybe 40 minutes, but we'll try and get this one done before their show starts, as respect to my homies there. And Taros, I think comics can be an investment versus speculation, sure, but there's only one subset that are investment worthy. Exactly. And I think that's what people are learning big time right now. But by margin, assuming you'll get rich off them in 20 years is a bad idea, just like it was in the 90s. Sure. Yeah. It's just really tough. This, I would say about this list is that it's really more garnered towards like, these are books that I feel like myself or the community like really wants to own but wants a good deal on it, whether that be by reading it or by displaying it in high grade. These are kind of like my books that like I would display and just be proud to have. And I feel like the community's sides as well, or books as well. So let's get into it. Preacher number one. I freaking remember when this book came out when I was in my teens, and if the cover didn't sell you on this book, the first page would sell you on this book. It was a Hulu show for 4 seasons, and it caught mainstream success in my opinion because my friends that were female would watch this show like on the regular. I thought that was like the coolest thing ever. Garth Ennis, he's probably like I would say he is my favorite writer of all time. And it's so just funny to me because like I feel like he was ahead of his time, obviously, because all these, all the ones that all of the comics that he's written are now like, shows like The Boys, obviously, Preacher, of course, Darkness, hopefully one day. I'm still like crossing my fingers on that one. But yeah,
Did you
man,
watch the Boys spinoff?
I haven't watched any of the Boys like cartoons or spinoffs yet. I need to catch up on other stuff, but
There's
yeah.
one like the like they're recruiting like it's like a university or something, and these are younger younger people that they're
Yeah.
it's been pretty interesting. I think the last episode just dropped. It was 8 episodes. It was pretty good.
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
just as violent as The Boys was.
Mm.
Did you watch?
That shock factor. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Did you watch the Preacher show?
I watched it. I didn't watch the last season. Um, I thought I did a really good job of like adapting the comic book to the to the actual film, but like kind of doing a little bit of differences, like just to make it work. Because I mean, the preacher. I mean, it's a 60 some volume like series. Uh, but yeah, it's pretty. It was pretty good. I really liked it. Did you watch it?
No, I didn't. I knew it was adapted to from a comic, and I
Mhm.
think was Seth Rogen involved in the show or something like bringing it to. I think he was a fan of the comic, and he's the one that um, brought it to mainstream and made it a show. I think, if I'm not mistaken, but I haven't. But that's why I was asking, and somebody
I
asked him.
don't know.
That's something that I just we were just messaging about shows and stuff, and that's always looking to add something good to the queue.
Yeah, I just got done with Mines. Like, me and Pickles talk about Mines. So I need to pick up something new. But I need to watch that last season. Um, if you are looking for this book, and this is a book to like. I mean, the cover is just amazing, right? Steve Dillon does a great job too on the art. It's it's kind of gone up like it's gone from like 100 when I was a kid to like 500 and 9.8 during the pandemic. 242 and 9.8, that's not a bad like price. 200 is probably the amount that I would pay personally, just because that's where I'm at in that realm. High grade raws, quote unquote, are going for 20 to 50 bucks. Um, I still see this at local LCSs going for 100, but I really think it's because like it's even before the show came out, this was always a wall book in an LCS. I mean, a priest, a Catholic priest, with a church on fire, man. That's just gonna attract anybody, right? Whether they like it or not. Um, and Fedora right there, he says it's 100, right? So, and James
You
Kreider with
mentioned
the
it was a signed copy that he had in his shop.
oh, okay, signed
Fedora
copy,
book.
right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's not bad. I mean, like it's this, and again, this isn't a buy the dip thing. Like you're gonna double in price because, like, I mean, this book's been out since 96, 95, right? So that's God, 30 years. Oh
And
man,
that's a scary raw to get too, because
yeah,
that
tough.
hardcover, it would be don't I mean, if you just want it to display raw, but it
Yeah,
would be hard to have any. You wonder why somebody, maybe they're selling it raw because they know it's not gonna
not being
raise.
9.8.
Yeah,
Yeah, and lately it's 9.8 or die. So that's another tough thing to kind of put in the market as well.
yeah. Thanks, James.
Um, yeah, man. Some shops also won't drop prices. I know. And like I so just like from like as a business quote unquote man and like just thinking of like risk and whatnot, like I don't know how comic book shops just like sit there and will display like 50 wall books and not update their prices. And teach his own, but like at some point, like would you rather sell those books at like fairly market price or whatever, or like risk getting them stolen? That's kind of what I always think about. Um, I don't know, man. Like, have your LCSs like around you? Have they lowered their prices at all, or are they still kind of stubborn and all that?
One of the ones I go to, I don't even look at the wall books because it's pretty ridiculous. And I
Mhm.
think what they're fixated on is in the last 2 years how much money they've quote unquote lost by people digging through like newer, one of the places I go has quite a few long boxes of recent or like it might be a few issues old of all their titles. So stuff that's not new, but it's a couple of months old, they'll just put loose in a long boxes and alphabetically. And I've dug through there and found stuff. But I think that's probably what they fixate on is, oh well, we sold a cover price book for, and that same one. If it's a variant, it doesn't matter if it's just like a cover B. It's automatically $10. Just any, it doesn't, not a ratio or anything, just a cover B. They
Yeah.
automatically bag and board it and slap a $10 price tag on it.
Man, at that point, it's just like you just got paper. It's like you don't even have like a comic book anymore. Um, Gallon TV. You know what? It's funny. That actually might help you in today's market if they go off eBay
That's
prices.
true. That's true.
So my shop has gotten better. We move see. I think in the like anyway. Well, I guess another kind of topic. I'll keep going with the show. Also, Ultimate Spider-Man #1. So I know the Ultimate Universe is kind of like brought my head to this book. This again, like I just think this is always going to hold value, especially with the video games coming out. Uh, Spider-Man's always going to be like the creme de la creme. It's always going to be that one, you know, it's always going to be that one character that's always going to be around, and it's the staple of Marvel. Um, this Ultimate Spider comic book when it came out was like it was really risky. I remember when I was a kid, I was like, "What the hell? They're going to rewrite Spider-Man's origin in like today's terms?" And I read the first one, and I could not put it down. It got a bunch of bends and corners and all that. Like it was in horrible condition, but I freaking loved the shit out of this comic book because Bendis, as much as either you hate him or controversial, whatever, he knows how to write a good damn comic. And if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have Miles. We wouldn't have this amazing, story. He hasn't really hit lightning in a bottle lately, but I remember, he'd probably be my number 3 or 4 favorite writer of all time. But yeah, oddly enough, so there's a white variant that I was looking for. It's sold for less than the regular cover. I don't know if that was just like a one-off or what, but I remember when that white variant came out, it was always like double what the regular version
Yeah.
was. And I'm telling you, man, like this book, this printed like a shitload because everybody had it, but it's always consistently had like a pretty fair price to it. The gradeds are kind of like different, because like you know, either attention's onto another comic book or whatever. But I thought 450 was pretty healthy for a 9.8, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I remember when I during m I've collected comics my whole life, but it was usually in spurts. Like I would go for a while and then take time off. And I remember when this came out, and I was really intrigued by it because I,
Mhm.
I I too thought it was. I was like, wow, they're gonna. This is like they're doing a whole new Spider-Man. Kind of not necessarily a reboot, but another angle on him. And
Mhm.
I remember how expensive this book was back in the day.
2000s.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mhm.
and and I think within the last 3 months or so, I checked it, just did a little heat check on it to see what it was doing. But that's yeah, I guess since James is doing the research for us, I wonder how many 9/8s there are on the census of this book.
I
I think
bet
it
you
has
it's
like
like
red spine, you know.
yeah, I bet you it's like the same amount as gosh, I don't know, like UF4 maybe as far as like copies. It's great. That's one of those. I think it's one of those like, oh, CGC's like, oh, another one of these. Um,
Yeah,
there's such a beloved book. Um, anyway, I could see. I don't. I shouldn't say I could see this doubling in 20 years again, but I could see it holding value at this point too. It's definitely a great story, and it's a great concept, and it worked for a very long time.
I really like that cover because he was so lanky, kind of like a spider, like not muscular. He looked like a lanky teenager.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
Spider Man was. So to me, it kind of was a throwback to the original Spider Man, where he wasn't, didn't have all these muscles and stuff. He's a
yeah.
kid. He's a
He's
kid.
a he's a skinny little he's like a scrawny little kid. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
So Sentry #1, obviously, like again, I think another demonstration of that the MCU announcing a character just isn't working right now. Initially, when the the character was speculated to come to the MCU. This book was selling for like 500 to 550 bucks. Our good friend Trey was like, man, he's like a B level character. Yeah, at best. My thought process with Sentry was like, he's going to be really expensive to do as a character. So my thought was like, they're going to have to hire a very like well-known actor, because that was kind of the trend at the time when they announced, or like a speculation that he was going to come to the big screen. And then just like Sentry's like that series, every Sentry series is like one of my favorites. Like I always love reading all of them, every take on it. I always just assumed that he was going to be expensive to put in as a B character. Like they wouldn't get their ROI on him. I don't know. And then like Hyperion, right? There's like the speculation about Hyperion or Squadron Sinister. Blue Marvel. I mean, all those guys, right? But again, like for me, I just love this freaking book. It's super tough in 9.8. A CBCSO for 260 on November 4th. Like that was a bargain in 2001 when this book first came out. And I always think of these early 2000s, especially this Marvel Knights, like anything that was like really good, or like NYX3. They weren't, Marvel was like trying to come out from bankruptcy. They were being very selective on what they were trying to do to get profits, right? So these books aren't really highly, I don't think, received because it's not like the mainstream kind of Marvel stuff. And this was, in my opinion, the best one out of the bunch. I mean, there's a Daredevil, there is I think Hulk, I can't remember, but like this was like a brand new character that Marvel again did a really good job with, kind of presenting to the reader base. Brad, have you ever had a copy of this? And were you a big Sentry fan? Or you just kind of like, whatever?
I didn't collect when this came out, but the your excitement when you talk about it is I've got in my head, I've got a couple of other books I think might be on this list just based on your excitement level, because there's a couple that you get really hyped
I
about.
do.
But the last time you talked about this on this show,
Oh,
I told you, I messaged you on Instagram and said, "Man, I went out to try to find the trades. You can't find the trades of this because you were like, it's
yeah,
such a good story."
yeah.
And so I went out to look, and they're nowhere to be found. I mean, I wish they would like maybe now that they're doing the new series, the Sentry series, maybe they'll do another printing or something of the original. But I'd like to read all this. I'd like to read the one that introduced the Void. That's that run that they did. I'd like to read all these, but the trades are expensive too. It's probably cheaper to buy a
We're
copy
digging.
of this and and find it than try and track down the trades. But no, but I'm intrigued. I mean, I was intrigued by the character, and it's something I wanted to go back and read. I went on a little stint this summer where I was just buying trades of stuff that I missed, and this was one of the ones on my list. And that's a good
Mhm.
point. I'm still trying to adjust comics and tortillas. I'm still trying to adjust to I still like having that physical copy in my hand. I need to get over that, but I need to get over that and just end up getting the Marvel Unlimited and read it that way.
And if you're like hesitant on the Marvel Unlimited, because I don't have that app either, but I just more of like I keep forgetting it to download it. Buy the trade paperback, like um like just go on Amazon and get the digital one. And the way that you read it, like each window, it changes the experience of reading a comic book,
Hmm,
especially
okay.
Century. I'll just randomly do a couple Century, any of the series, Blue Marvel, because that's expensive too, trade paperback wise. The 2001 Static Shock series, that's like $100 in trade paperback. Just buy them out digital, man. And our good friend Fedora Khan he's live.
Oh,
He's
man.
live. He's darker than you. It gets like light, mid light, and then like the darkest.
Yeah, I was.
I'm in a bar for gamers right now. So as
Oh,
you can
Oh,
see,
that's cool.
yeah. It's like everybody's vibing out playing games. I meant to meet up with some friends, but they're
It's all
out
good.
doing video game things right now. So me and Ferd had a miscommunication between times because East Coast versus West Coast.
Oh, what's up, Ultra Maximus, my man, my dude? If you need any FOC, whatever, he is the number one freaking resource. Love this guy, Ultra Maximus. Go support his channel.
Contrary to popular belief on the discourse, from what you may have heard, Ultra Maximus is the ultra seller. All right. So
Yeah. He is killing. I love his spec matrix. It's great.
best in the biz, man. That's a good one.
Yeah, he's great, man. And Comics Embrace, man, or Comics Tortillas. I've talked about him on shows before. I just randomly he hit my YouTube feed. I don't know what it was. Follow him as well. You guys throw your links down in the chat, man. You guys are more than welcome to hype yourself up. That's all good. But everyone knows Ultra is, so it's he needs no introduction. But yeah, so Sentry number 1, 9.8. I have the STC variant as well for 159, 9.8. Like holy cow, like it's just crazy.
yo, my homeboy bought first appearance of Elsa, first appearance of Gambit, and this for 300 bones at Comic-Con.
Damn, like
Yeah.
lately.
Yeah, recently, like the Comic-Con,
Wow.
he came to telling everybody at the shop about it. Like, yo, you wouldn't believe what just happened.
Yeah.
And
So I
then-
mean, like right there, man. I mean, I think there, like the demand and supply of what people want, and I think what vendors are like, shit, I don't want to sell these key books for like $300, but I have these 8 other books that I can't sell for $5 or like 10 that I was banking on doing.
and you got to understand too, like the booths cost so much money, bro.
Yes.
And you're competing with like hundreds of vendors. So it's like, yo, you either like you gotta pay Comic-Con, which is a fortune. Because I used to work for a costume company, and this was back in like 2013. I used to be the president's assistant, so we used to do booths at Comic-Con and sell cosplay stuff, makeup, and other things if you're into that BDSM stuff. But but bro, like I remember the last year we did Comic-Con, the president was pissed because he wanted to use his guys to break down, and what ended up happening was that Jacob Javits had just recently gotten a union. So Jacob Javits was like, nah, man, like you got to use our guys and you have to pay them.
Yeah.
And then all the money that we made went to like breaking it down and paying like the Jacob Javits staff. So we ended up breaking even. So we were there for no reason. And so it's like, yeah, like that makes sense that they would sell it for like you get deals. So now I'm thinking like, yo, if it's like that, it's like they just giving books away, like shit. Like I don't know, like Comic-Con next year, bro. Comic-Con 2023, the Ferd group.
the pillagers, man. We'll see, man. We'll see.
We're just gonna be like, nah, this is not market price, bro. Look, there's like
I love it.
You seen our show?
Yeah, just
you see our show too.
keep Bird's Instagram pulled up so you can see the last 3
Yeah.
sales of whatever book you're looking for.
Yeah. And they're like, why you got Blockbuster baskets on your shit anyway?
Yo, that was crazy.
Dude,
that's
so
the
funny.
craziest
So
shit
funny,
I've ever
man.
seen.
Yeah. Ultimate Comics Spider-Man, all new. This wasn't necessarily like one of mine, like, oh shoot, I gotta have this book. But I know like UF4, okay, so I won't even talk about that. I will. So that's hitting like $1,000, 9.8 lately. Now this is kind of like I think your next best thing, right? First series, Miles, second appearance. Raw sale in September went for 500. Oddly enough, I couldn't find any good sales in general of this book in high grade or like 9.8.
Yo, who's the dude that does the research in the background in this chat?
James.
James. Jarvis.
Jarvis.
James, aka Jarvis.
Oh, Kreider? Yeah. What about him?
I was wondering like what a 9.8 goes in this.
I couldn't find any real like good I couldn't find any really good sales. So this is something good to know, right? For people that have this book or this series. I don't think people are selling this book. I think they don't. I think they're like, I'll sell UF4 your first appearance, which is odd, but I'll keep this book. Something to kind of think about, right? I think that's a good thing.
Yo, you know what's so crazy? We have UF4 at my store, and it's crisp, but I guess if you press it, you might get a 9.8. I don't want to guarantee, but we got it for $600. If anybody's interested.
Look at this guy trying to sell on the show, man. Trying to sell. He's always that's a New Yorker for you right there, man.
He's getting a commission off the sale.
I wish. They just give me a pat on the back. No, but I'm like wondering, right? Like I've never seen this in person. I've only seen pictures of it, so I'm curious. Like, what does this like in near mint? Like, what does this go for?
Last raw sale was $500, man, and that was like, I mean, I don't know if it's a 9.8, but that was what the market was telling you. Like I said, man, I didn't find any like recent sales on this today. Shout out to Ninth Wonder. He is there's an all new what is it? The Marvel must-haves 1 through 3. That is so basically a collection of Ultimate Comics 1 through 3. So it's a thicker, like 45-page book. What's up, 78? Thanks for joining, man. Hope your boy's doing okay. That is kind of an interesting like collection to get. It's not as high print. It's a reprint of this book 1 through 3. But it goes for a little bit higher. I don't know, or a little bit lower, but I think it's a key. It's a nice little key too. Doesn't really go on sale very high or very often either.
So. How would you feel about paying $500 for a raw of that book?
In this market, I wouldn't. I'd rather just pay the extra. If it's 800, I just would pay the 9.8 because like if you're buying this raw for 500, you're not reading it.
If you're buying that raw for 500 when you could just get 198 for 800, you a Momo. I'm sorry, like that's crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, I honestly don't know what that sale was about. Like it was just an odd thing. Like, I mean, there comes to
car running down the spine like that, man. I mean, that's just seems like a risky move.
Extremely risky, especially. So I don't know. Again, like it's eBay sales. I mean, I'll be honest, guys. Like I get the data from, eBay.
eBay is everything. eBay is life. All right. And also
are you drunk?
No. But look, to quote a famous New Yorker right here. Yesterday's price.
Oh my God!
Today's
price. I'm gonna mute your ass, man. I'm gonna mute your ass.
And there, James Kreider. What's up, man? He's got some info there for us. Go up to his previous comment.
Yeah. 98 went for 615 August. Okay, so I couldn't find any good data on it, honestly. But yeah, the fact that they're selling for 2K. I've had several copies of that Spider-Man. And I've never got a 9.8 out of it. So I was going to put the Miles Morales hip-hop variant. Shout out to Ultra Maximus. If you never watched his hip-hop episode, dude, go on his channel and watch it. I've watched it, I think, 3 times already. It's great. It's very simple, but it's great. You guys should watch it. I almost put that book up there, but that's kind of like I've talked about it a lot of times. I just don't want to beat a broken record, but anyway, so next off, G.I. Joe Special number 1. This is a last sale, October 26th for $950. Now, this isn't one of my like, I would want to get this for $950 or like whatever price. I just thought the community would want to know like this is still holding pretty high. I don't remember this going for like $1,500 to $2,000 during the pandemic in 9.8, but I feel like it did back then. I'm not really sure. Obviously, it's got the Todd Father G.I. Joe plus the Spawn homage and everyone's favorite G.I. Joe Snake Eyes. Am I correct, Brad?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I'm sure Fedora's gonna got one at Midtown on the wall for $300 to $500. You guys have this at Midtown, Fedora? Oh, all right.
No, we don't. We don't. I've never seen
Okay.
that. We don't usually get a lot of GI Joe stuff for some odd reason. That's like, now that I think about it, I don't think we get in any GI Joe stuff regularly. Like no GI Joe key books. I've never
Yeah.
seen any.
And again, like if you're buying this raw for like 500, just spend that extra 450 again, 9.8, man. Like I think it's worth it. I don't necessarily think I would pay, like that's a pretty steep price, but I get why someone would pay that much for it. And this is one it was kind of tough for me to find pretty recent sales. I got kind of lucky. I think with that October 26th sale, but there's, this is just, it displays really well, in my humble opinion and all that stuff. So,
A lot of
man,
the
that's where I got
nostalgia
it.
factor too, you know.
Yeah, big time nostalgia. It just like Brian says, Brian McClay, he nostalgia. There's that price of nostalgia is very high. That always is going to hit for you. So, I got a couple more left, and then yeah, we're out of here. Then we'll do the giveaway. Maximus Carnage, the comic book. This has actually gone down a lot in price. It's very hard to find in high grade because this basically, if you guys don't know, this was a giveaway with the Maximum Carnage video game for Super Nintendo, which was red, which is kind of cool too, I think. Brad, I don't want to offend you, but were you too old for this when it came out? Like,
I don't want to offend you, but
but I mean, like, were you like, oh
yeah,
shoot, like I remember when this came out, like,
yeah. Although
sorry.
now I've got a nephew who was playing video games around this time, so I was kind of, I had my finger on the pulse of some of that stuff, even though I wasn't playing myself.
Fedora, were you even born when this comic book came out?
I
Yep.
was alive. I was alive.
Okay, okay.
I remember when it came out, but I was like, I was playing like Terminator versus RoboCop. I was playing like I don't know, when I was a kid, like that was baby stuff to me. Spider-Man, and I don't know. I kind of grew up like a younger, edgy kid. I used to watch a lot of like horror movies and sci-fi and crazy like gun, like shooting places up, Goodfellas type stuff. So I totally missed the boat on that. But I do remember this was going crazy during the pandemic. So take it for what it's worth.
9.6 is going for 1,200. That was definitely like times when nostalgia was running really high. But yeah, it's come down, like Ultra said. I found one in mid for 295, and kind of what Gallant was talking about. This is a tough and high grade because I read the shit out of this comic book when it came out.
Was it a
Yeah.
redemption, or did it actually come with the game?
It came with the game, I believe.
Okay.
I had it somewhere. I don't know. I can't remember why I got it, but yeah, you're not gonna find this book raw, like Fedora was saying. It's just, if you find it raw, like it's gonna be beat up. Like all the ones I saw online, except for that mid-grade 295, like they're like spine ticks galore. But people aren't asking outrageous prices for it. They're asking for like, $50. I don't think that's special box set. Okay, cool. Damn. I have 3 copies of the raw one signed by Ron Lim. Badass, dude.
Very cool.
So I only have a couple left,
Yo,
guys.
Fred, I'm trying to get an Elsa copy of Elsa #1, Elsa Bloodstone. Let me know, bro. Let me know if anybody got one.
Oh my god. Why? I mean, no hate, but why?
Because she's hot.
Oh my god.
And I like that cover.
Get out of here. I'm muting your ass. I'm mute your ass.
I'm the new Pickles today.
Oh my god. You're hilarious.
Her character's evolved from that book, though. She's such a different character now than she was in that book. It's a cool cover. I like, and I think they could really. Elsa's crossed over with a ton of people.
Mhm.
She had a miniseries with Iron Man. She had another one with Wolverine. I mean, she's crossed over with a lot of characters.
Yeah,
They,
I
you know, they're missing the boat if they don't like really lean into her as a character. I think,
mhm.
um, but she's such a different character, and I don't even know if the representation that they're using, like the one they used in the Halloween special. I mean, she wasn't. She didn't have red hair. I don't think. Like she's different than the. She's a
And
little different
the
than I was expecting.
she's not, like, sexy like the Bloodstone one, and you know what? Uh, Here's another one you should probably trade paperback, Brad. I thought that 1 through 4 series, because I actually did read it, was freaking hilarious.
Hmm,
There's so many innuendos in it, and it's just kind of a fun, like, if you like the horror, like, kind of fun it had Castlevania-esque, like, kind of like adventure vibes to it.
right.
Um, yeah, I did not put it on the list here because I felt like it was a buy the dip kind of book to talk about, and
Mhm,
I just can't justify right now, especially what we were talking about earlier in the chat, buying that book just because of the Halloween special not going through. Um, just trying to be cautious for everybody.
sure.
Uh, but yeah, moving on to the next one. We only got a couple left, and again, we'll do the giveaway at the end. Uh, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the Art Adams Gold variant. I saw this going for 339.8. Uh, that and again, this is like a very, I want to say obscure, but not very well sought out. It's a Dark Horse comic book from the early 2000s. Buffy's probably up there with the top 5 greatest TV shows of all time. Looking back on it, like, I get why it was such a great show. I mean, I loved watching that movie. It was super fun to watch. Um, but yeah, I just found this out and I was kind of like, oh, this is kind of a cool book to talk about. I think there's a couple on eBay right now you could bid on, but mid, I would say around 90, and then low 50, 45 to 55. Did you ever pick up this book, Brad, or was this like kind of like
No,
your
I've watched the series several times because I think the series the whole reason the series happened was Joss Whedon was so disappointed in the representation of the original movie that came out. It was nothing like he intended.
Mhm.
But yeah, now I would agree with that though, Ultra. Yeah, that was yeah the yeah
Especially in
yeah
Big Daddy, she was super hot in Big Daddy. Yeah.
um but in her first appearance, is it like Dark Horse Presents or Hellboy or some one of those books, I think. But
I don't know, Matrix Comics might know, but I do remember when, like, the photo variant came out of this book, and every
mhm.
dude wanted that photo variant of Sarah Michelle Gellar, and it was like
We
15 to 20 bucks.
we have that photo. We have that photo variant. I think it's still at the shop. It's like $20.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good price, that's fair.
Yeah,
It's like hard stock, right?
yeah. I was trying to. A lot of people come in asking for Buffy the Vampire Slayer stuff.
Hmm.
Actually, regularly we get a lot of tourists like interested in buying like Buffy stuff, asking about like Buffy because it's such a nostalgic character for like a lot of people, especially like millennials and like people my age. They really like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and we recently just got a lot of like cardstock Buffy Dark Horse books with some amazing art with Sarah Michelle Gellar on it. So if you could get the cardstock near mint and get Sarah Michelle Gellar to sign it, I
That'd be
think that
cool.
would be I think that'd be cool. But I used to read the Buffy books. I've never owned them, but in the school library, we
They had
used
'em.
to have like the hardcover. Like they used to, I don't know, like the Board of Ed, I guess used to license some comics, and then they used to make like the cheap versions of the hardcovers. It was really weird. I don't know, but
Mhm.
a lot of kids used to read the Buffy, the Dark Horse Buffy books in class and in the cafeteria because you could just take it from the library. So
Right.
yeah,
That's
I mean, that's cool.
that's really intriguing that people are still asking about this because with GI Joe, the nostalgia is part of it, but they're also coming. they're doing some things. That's interesting there, James. But
Yeah.
they're working on some things with GI Joe. There's nothing. I mean, Buffy.
Well,
Has,
GI Joe, like a lot of people like GI Joe, but I feel like you get like a much older crowd for GI Joe versus like with Buffy is like much younger. Because I there's a lot of people that ask for GI Joe, Transformers, and like Buffy. And TMNT. So I think those are and Sonic. So outside of like the cape stuff that we're used to seeing, the top I would say that people always ask when they come in is Sonic, Buffy, Transformers, GI Joe, and Ninja Turtles. Like those have been like if it's not the superhero stuff, it's either or Power Rangers. So I guess those would be like the six. You know, like
I think it's just intriguing that of all those properties you mentioned, Buffy's the only thing that doesn't have something currently happening. So that's great. That's just straight nostalgia, you know.
yeah.
That's straight nostalgia.
And New York City, if you go to like there's this comic shop called Forbidden Planet, and they have like a shit ton of Buffy the Vampire Slayer shirts. And I know some of the guys that work there, and they were saying that the Buffy shirts sell really well, like with Sarah Michelle Gellar on them, and things like the Buffy shirts sell really well. They have the logo Buffy the Vampire Slayer shirts. They have one with Angel on it, and they say that those they sell really well. So.
I was a big Charisma Carpenter fan.
Oh my God, she came here for a signing too.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, dudes.
Oh.
she looks good, man. She looked great. And then kind of another nostalgia book here that I know this was like dog shit before the pandemic, and oddly enough, man, this Mortal Kombat #1, I forgot the version of it. Chat, help me out. So sorry about that.
Is that by Malibu?
Shoot, I can't remember.
I think Malibu Comics did the Mortal Kombat because they did the Street Fighter.
Okay, you're probably right. I there's something retail incentive, something about this variant. It's like a variant of some sort, but $100 like raw, last sold in pretty good condition. 9.6 lovers out there, right? 296. I could not find a 9.8 in this book, but and Ultra Maximus says yes, it is done by Malibu. 9.8. I don't know. I gotta assume that 9.8 may go for like 600 just based off what 9.6s went for. But I found a lot of 9.6s, a few 9.4s, but I could not find a 9.8 in this book. And that's right. There's a gold cover Guru variant or Guru. It's like Southpaw. Were you a Street Fighter guy or were you a Mortal Kombat guy? I feel like you're a Street Fighter guy.
Yeah, Street Fighter came first, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So just by age. We've established, you've pointed it out several times that I'm old as well. So we've established that. So Chad, if you're wondering, I'm not quite geriatric age, but I wake up every morning with a new ailment. I don't know how in the hell I twist my ankle while I'm asleep, but it happens. But I did play Mortal Kombat. I actually watched the movie with a couple of my nephews, like the most recent movie.
Oh God, horrible.
That came out. What was
It was like the main character was like a made up, like he wasn't in the game. They just made up a character for the movie. It's so stupid. It was the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah, that's
like why? I don't know. It's the weirdest thing ever. And he wasn't. I mean, it wasn't like he was like a star. It wasn't like he was like some no name dude.
Was it the guy? Was it the same one that had the God? What's the actor? He's played like The Last Samurai. He was in The Last Samurai.
Ascended, that's right. The Last Samurai?
He was in
Tom Cruise?
I think he was in one of the Wolverine movies too. But I can't remember the guy's name, but he's a really good like martial arts type anytime they use like sword, he's sword skills and stuff.
I
But
don't
he
remember.
played in it. But I mean, it was all right. That's how disconnected I am from Mortal Kombat. I didn't even realize it was somebody that's not in the game. I watched an entire movie and didn't realize it. But I was a Street Fighter just by
Just
nature
from
of being old.
yeah. That's awesome, man. I remember standing in line for Mortal Kombat 2, I want to say, and this is back in the day where they didn't have like a special edition for the game, but if you pre-ordered it, you got like 3 posters, like stickers. I don't think you got a comic book, but you just got all this stuff. And so I came out of what was it called? Software, etc. And Dragon Zen's in the chat, but
Yo, software, etc. Yo, you mad old, bro.
yeah,
That's
dog.
crazy. I never
Software
even
fucking
seen one.
etc, dude. And
Bro, that's
you had to put
crazy.
$10 down in cash, and then they'd write down your thing, your name, like on a little like whatever.
Layaway,
Yeah, like
layaway plan for a video game.
yeah, and then you come in with the full price. So I'd roll in with my mom or my dad, and then like you come out with all this stuff, and dude, it was like so unnecessary to have 3 posters. But man, like if I could go, I don't even know. I remember like one of the posters was like the cover of the video game, like the symbol. It was cool, man. And they gave out so much cool stuff, man. I would give anything to buy that. I'd pay $100 for that poster.
You're talking about standing in line to buy a video game. I played Mortal Kombat, the arcade game.
Oh, oh, I played the arcade game too, for sure. But like,
You should get one for the house, man.
like an arcade, like a big ass
Yeah.
arcade.
Yeah, like the
I thought
stand up
about it.
arcade. Talk to the missus and see if you can dedicate.
Oh no, I'll just do it. She's not watching. I don't think she's watching.
Buddy,
Right
close your eyes. I've got a surprise for you.
I'll just
Come
like
into the guest bedroom and check this out.
I'll just like put cardboard over it. I'm like, oh, it's an old fridge. Like, don't worry about it. It's all good. It's an old fridge. This is my jokes. This is my jokes for Fedora because I wasn't sure if he's coming on the show today. But My Little Pony, number 14, the variant. Jason, if you're watching the rewind, you know how much I fucking hate this book. It's selling for $5 to $10 as of November 6th, 2020.
Yo, remember the person that bought like 50 of them and posted them on Instagram? I'm calling that person out. If I knew their Instagram handle, I took a screenshot of it. But if I knew their Instagram handle, I will post it right now, but I don't. But yo, that was crazy. Listen, maybe it'll be worth something in the future. I don't know, but that's crazy. Like
that
you know what I'm talking
about. That person probably handed them out with candy on Halloween.
That person's probably using them as toilet paper right now.
He better be.
He
should have. Yeah, it'd be way cooler. Hey, I don't got toilet paper, but I got My Little Pony number 14. 1 in 10
Yo,
variant.
bro, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I like trolling.
Speaking of crazy, a 9.8 is $300.
For the Venom 3?
Bro.
You're skipping ahead, dog. We're not even done talking about My Little Pony yet. You're skipping ahead
how
already.
could we forget My Little Pony?
MLP.
MLP, baby.
Listen, man, MLP is exploding in the market. You got to hold on to this My Little Pony book because this is the first appearance of Chocolate Pony. Listen, and then the beat dropped and the music behind me. So that's how you know fate is telling you right now. It's getting intense with this music. Go out and buy My Little Pony. $5 to $10. You already know. We outside. Don't be a Momo and buy My Little Pony. Be like that person with like every variant and like 51 in 10s.
Oh my god.
If you're in the chat late, Fedora's actually at a brony bar.
He's at a brony bar right now.
I'm at a brony
he's kicking
bar
at
right
a
now.
brony bar right now. Yeah,
that's
watching,
why they're playing brony music.
Yeah, exactly. 78 Furry Bird. Oh man, I'm glad he showed up today. And then okay, so Fedora hates this book. I
don't hate it. I just think that
for 2000 you hate it. You fucking ridiculous. Agreed. 100% agreed. And you know what? I'm gonna say it right here. I was one of those people that sold a book for I think the most I ever sold this book for was 850, 900. And at the time I did it, I was regretting it. I'm like, there's no way. Why'd I do that? Yada, yada. Thank God I did. But I'll say this about this book, man. Null, for me, got me excited about comic books again for a very long time. And spoilers, I said this earlier in the show, Spider-Man game, spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2. Null supposedly makes an appearance in the video game.
No, he doesn't. Does he really? Did you
I
play
heard.
Spider-Man game?
This fucking guy.
Being at a gamer bar.
I know, right? Brad.
Hold on. I gotta
What?
confirm this.
Brad, have you had this? Have you had this? One, have you ever had this book? And two, did Null like? Is it? I'm a fucking fanboy of Null. I'm just gonna say straight up. I don't care. And yes, I'm Tony Kate's bitch.
I like the until you mentioned until you mentioned this third print.
Mm-hmm.
I had not thought about it. It was a book that like both a couple years ago went up to had I known Fedora, I would have hit him up. I went up to New York with 2 of my nephews.
Yeah.
And we went to a shop in Queens, and they both bought the A cover of this book because they were like so hyped for it.
Yeah.
I still haven't read it yet, but it's on my list. This is another one that I want to go back and get the trades for Venom and King in Black and all that stuff.
Yeah. Fedora, what were you gonna say?
All right, I was trying to confirm, but nobody in the vicinity of me has played the game. Can you text one of your friends to see if they
this fucking guy, dude. Okay, I guess Null does not show up. Okay, spoilers, he does not show up. Whoever told me that, I'm pissed because like I bought the game because I wanted Null to be in the game.
So he doesn't?
That sucks. I guess not. But.
Oh man.
Anyways, that's disappointment. But you were saying you did what? Who was in New York?
Oh, me and my nephews went up there 2 years ago.
Oh, I didn't know you 2 years ago.
I know. If I would have, I would have hit you up because we actually stayed right down. We stayed right down the road from the
Midtown Comics.
Midtown, yeah.
Yeah.
he would hit you with some My Little Pony comic books.
Yeah.
There's still some. Still got some.
Oh, great! It's great.
But Null is I think he's gonna be Thanos level if they utilize him correctly.
And I, you know what? I don't even like at this point. Like I don't even care if they put him in the MCU because that's like 20 years down the road anyway.
Listen, with Sony, they're gonna do it tomorrow. They're gonna be like, "Yo, we need some money. We need money. We running out of Spider-Man the milk. Let's just throw him in there.
Throw the motherfucker in there."
I don't have faith in them doing. I mean, if Craven, who when I was growing up was like one of my favorite villains. I just thought he was the coolest villain.
Mm-hmm.
If he's going to be like a conservationist now, I guess that's kind of the angle they're using for him. Instead of being like one of Spider-Man's most feared villains.
What the hell is going on in life? Fedora, what the hell are you doing, man? What is that?
Oh, that's his sweatshirt.
I saw some shaking, and I was like, "What do we got? What are we looking at here?"
He's spitting game. He didn't want him to know he was on a podcast about comic books.
You know what? She actually does know.
All right, no spoilers. So 70 is looking for Josh Davis says he does not show up. So I guess I gotta play the game and find out. But cool.
So someone is lying.
Somebody's lying, man. But
that's disappointing. That's a disappointing troll there. That's
funny shit, man. This is funny ass. No, Pickles didn't tell me that because Pickles doesn't have a he it's just his wanes on Venom. So that's all good, man. Hey, man, Josh, we appreciate you coming through, man. I do appreciate you for sure coming through, man. It's been a while since I've seen you, so I appreciate it. How many times can I say that over and over again? Pickles, if he's watching, he doesn't have a PlayStation, so therefore he cannot play.
He's an Xbox guy, huh?
He's an Xbox dude. And it's so odd because he was a Final Fantasy like supreme for the longest time. So asshole. I'll see you Thursday, 78. Anyway, and last but not least, but just kind of my like something
I
that
do like that book, and I like that the third print.
third print. Yeah,
Um,
it's awesome.
yeah,
I love it.
that's a great cover.
I can't be a Stegman hoe. Like Stegman's the one that drew
It's
it.
it's third print. Third print. What the hell? It's third print or bust for me. Third print or bust. Third print or bust.
Well, for
There's-
260 to 300, you can get it at 9.8. You know,
Yeah.
in case and all that good stuff. So there you
And
go.
it's got the best art. It's the lowest printed. Like,
It's beautiful.
yeah,
Best-
third print or bust. That's
Best
my
comic book,
prediction.
best cover and character and writer of all time.
I
My
think
favorite writer of all time.
on your Thursday show, I think didn't Trey show he's got like a 1 in 25 or a 1 in 50?
I think so. There's another cover. It's a Venom.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's like this. It's not scans or I don't know, Chad, if you can help me out. But you're right. I think he does have one. I wouldn't be shocked. Something that I'm part of a chat about magazines, and I don't know if I've talked about this in our Discord, but if anyone you haven't joined our Discord, let me know. The link's at the top, but I can put another link to it in the chat if anyone wants to join. We're almost at 100 subs, so that's pretty cool. Is anyone reading their image series? Oh no, I'm not. Donnie Cates, I don't think finished it. So there you go. He's Joe Madeira of this era. Game Informer. I bought that Miles Game Informer right here. The newsstands aren't very prevalent. So if you can find later prints of the Game Informer, like that Miles one, the one on the bottom is for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. There's a Last of Us. Those are kind of the 3 modern ones. And the one behind you is Metal Gear Solid 2, I want to say. That is a Todd McFarlane cover that goes for around 50 to 75 bucks. I may have posted it before. Blue Green Artifacts is really into this. Shout out to him. But yeah, part of like this little like message group, and we were kind of, he was kind of going into it, and I found a stack of them at this oh god, that is, dude, that's the first CD I've ever owned. Yes, owned, but it was bought for me. It was bought for me. Yeah.
I think I've heard you say that before.
Oh, really? Damn, dude, that's hilarious. Yeah,
What was the artist's name?
Snow, right? I forgot his name. Yeah. Anyway, oh god, so embarrassing. But yeah, Game Informer, man, it's they're kind of an odd shaped kind of magazine. So I haven't tried grading one, but I'd be curious to submit it and see if I could. But they're really cool, like covers. It is Snow and Taros with the knowledge of 90s stuff. I bought this Miles cover for like $5 to $10, and it's in pretty decent, good condition.
Is that his first Game Informer cover?
I think it's his only Game Informer cover.
That's interesting.
And I bought a newsstand for like $10, free shipping. So this magazine market is very, I wouldn't say it's tough, but it's very wide. So you can really hone in on one kind of segment, where it would be Sports Illustrated, Slam, whatever, or you can broaden your horizon and just do like everything. But it's still, I think it's infancy. So I wouldn't like submit 20 magazines to CGC. It's too much money. But I definitely would pick like, you pick up like 100 magazines, or 25 magazines or 20 magazines for like $100. It's $5 a magazine. And if one of those hits, I mean, pays for the rest of them. It's kind of intriguing, man. And Southpaw, you're kind of digging this market, right? Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, it's, when you say in its infancy, I would say as much as anything. I mean, I feel like I've missed the boat on a lot of stuff, like video games. I feel like I've kind of missed the boat on some of that stuff. So the magazine market is kind of interesting, and there's so few graded copies. So he changed his name, but the magazine guru that we have in our that does the
Videos.
yeah, that does the videos. What's it? I think his name is Brad also.
We can only have one Brad in the Discord. Sorry. We're gonna kick him out. Sorry.
You're out, guy. You're out, magazine guy.
Yeah.
No, but he talks about when he shows, because he'll do unboxings where he's submitted um, magazines for grading, and he'll do the reveal, and just the number of on the census. There's so few. Like nobody's ever. It's almost like nobody's ever considered submitting magazines for grading.
Yeah.
And up until recently, like they didn't, when they did subscriptions, I mean, they did it on Game Informer. They just slapped the subscription right on the magazine. And even if your magazine was, I noticed this because I looked up The Last of Us when y'all were talking about it. When your subscription's running up, they put a sticker on the front of the magazine that says, "Hey, it's time to renew." And they just slap a sticker right on the front of the magazine. Now you can polybag them and just put the subscription on there and not damage the magazine. But I guess that was an extra step back in the day. But yeah, I'm super intrigued by it. I mean, there are a million rabbit holes you can go down to. Just like anything like that, like programs and tickets and all kind of different stuff.
Yeah. Tickets is really cool too. It's very specific on what you can purchase. I guess the one thing I'd be worried about is like buying one raw and not knowing if it's authentic and then like submitting it.
Because I just saw Victor Wembanyama's first game ticket go for about $400.
Yeah. What is it? I think Marcus was making a joke of like he could have just like flown or drove to the game and asked for people's tickets out like as they were leaving, as opposed to buying it outright.
Dude, I mean that's not a bad racket if you can figure out, if you live in a he could have gone to San Antonio first time. Yeah, Victor Wembanyama's first time. Assuming people didn't just use their phone. I mean, you've got to think now that you just scan.
I haven't had a ticket. I've not gone a will call in like 3 years. It's like
maybe instead of doing the electronic, we should start doing, for concerts and all that stuff, still get a physical ticket, get it mailed to you.
I wonder if you could like a screenshot would be worth money. Probably not. I don't know. But yeah, it's a collectibles market. And like I guess like my thing with magazines is like $5. If it works out, awesome. If it doesn't, oh well. You got a $5 magazine you could read through and whatever with. But yeah, it's really intriguing.
All these Swifties, dude. Taylor Swift's first magazine appearance.
I've already tried, man. They're already through the stratosphere. I a while back I was looking at like Beyonce first appearances. I don't know who did the art on the Miles Game Informer. I didn't have enough time to really go through this, but yeah, I apologize, guys. But anyway, that's the list, but let's get into why everyone's here, because you guys want to slab Black Panther. I can't reach it, so but if you want to be entered into the giveaway, just type in this. Null, because Null is the greatest comic character of all time and is the star of the new Spider-Man 2. Just kidding, totally kidding.
We'll do anything for views on these things. Just we'll make stuff up if we need to.
Oh, dude, I should type in like secret characters on the Spider-Man 2 game. While we kind of wait for people to kind of chime in on that. Taros, Street Food.
Maybe in the Discord you could find out and let us know who the artist is on, so that way. Hey, if you want to find out, come join the Discord if you aren't a member, and Fer to let us know who the artist is on the Miles Game Informer cover.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, man, you are no wonder you're the best realtor in South Carolina. And
there you go.
Speaking of realtors in South Carolina, we are doing a show. I don't know if anyone in the chat knows about this, but this is my other, I would say, passion. It's my main kind of focus in life. I am a mortgage broker, work full-time. I do mortgages in 9 different states. I'm doing HELOCs like crazy right now because there's no fees with those. But that is our show. It's called Sunset to the South. It's on YouTube. We do live shows on Wednesdays, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time. I do kind of investment segment, and Brad does his deal. It's all good. He does real estate, and yeah, come through on Wednesday where we'll be talking about some pretty cool stuff like we always do, and bring out your questions. There's no dumb question. I think our goal is to like inform the community, man. Like we want you guys to save money and to make money too, you know, in a way also. Fedora.
Some people might say we're here to police the spending of people. So whatever you want to call it. Oh, disclaimer: I do not sell any books. Just a little. I don't sell books. Just a disclaimer on that.
I was a notary for a while. I offered it for free. I don't think there's really money in it.
Why am I in the wheel?
You typed in null.
Oh, I did it to like, I don't know, to encourage other people to do it.
Brad, if you want to be in it, man, I mean, you can be in it too.
Nah, I can't be in it.
Okay.
If I win, I'm gonna pick.
He's gonna pick who wins it. Brad, do you want in on this?
Yeah, what the heck?
Okay.
If I win, I'll well, we'll see. I don't usually win stuff, so.
You've won a couple of times on my show.
I did, I did early on. I stopped. In fact, I won a couple. Yeah, I won a couple of the early ones, and
I was sending a lot of shit to you, man.
Yeah, you were.
I think I have you like.
Oh
on my
yeah, but
auto thing.
anyways, I gotta go. It was cool chatting.
Okay, dog.
Until next week. Yeah. Disclaimer: I don't sell books.
Null is the number one villain in Spider-Man 2. Fedora Khan has confirmed it with his.
Also check out Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. Read it online if you can't get it.
It's on everyone's top 10 list, man.
Two top 10
those
books.
guys, but it's crazy, man.
Yes.
Listen,
I'm on fire. Anyways, I'm out.
Thanks, bro.
Later, sure.
You know, I almost was a notary public, but I couldn't do it because I was transitioning jobs. I had a friend that did that during the pandemic. Dude, she matched her salary in like 2 to 3 months in a row because she was signing like 3 people a night, and she was getting paid like anywhere from $50 to $75 per signing, and she was doing 3 a night. She was making money.
Maybe I'm the sucker then, because I was one for a while, and I got mine because my youngest sister, I performed the wedding ceremony for her.
Oh, it makes sense.
Yeah, so I became a notary so I could perform that ceremony. But I would sign stuff all the time and not charge people. But yeah, maybe you can, and it doesn't cost a lot to do. Get the official seal and everything, and
yeah. Are you in
Constantino?
Are you in Canada? I can't do international, man. It just costs too much money. Sorry, but if you're not, let me know.
Or if you got a mule.
What's that?
Have somebody mule it across the border for you.
yeah. The Black Panther second print, man. You know what? I'm so stupid. Like I bought like 5 copies of that book, and I got all 9/8, and I held on to them. I just thought it was a sick cover. But I'm sure everyone has a story is like, whatever. But
I've got plenty of raws of that one that, that was in the heat of the FOMO.
Yeah, and you had to press it because there was a little like indentation.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, sorry, man. I do appreciate you coming out though. Come out to our show on Wednesday on the Sunset to South show. I'm gonna talk about a little about Canadian real estate. Or rates, mortgages, I should say, not the real estate so much. Well, we got before I do the spin on the wheel, I want to thank all 14 that are live right now. I want to thank Southpaw Brad for joining me as my lefty and all that good stuff. Again, we'll do our show on Wednesday. Yeah, if you guys could all click like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Again, just want to do a thank you to everyone for getting us past 400 subs. I'm almost at 500. So
amazing, dude.
Yeah, thanks, man. I need more like views to get like super chat eligible. So we got a lot of good stuff on the older shows. So, just I don't know. Take a look at our older shows for like market recaps and just good old times. And yeah, I appreciate everyone's support.
It's good listening if you're at work and need something to listen to. You can slap it on there and run it at like 1.25 or 1.5 time, and
Yeah.
get those hours up for Ferd. So
Yeah. And I really do appreciate it, guys. I had no idea we were gonna grow that like this. It's been pretty cool. So
you've been working hard though, man. That's three shows a week at least.
yeah, seriously.
Look at this.
All right, Brad. I'm gonna do another giveaway.
Spin it again. I'll forego it. Spin it again.
Okay. I'm gonna do that, but I'll send you guys some stuff, okay, Brad?
Because that looks like collusion.
It kind of does.
I knew 78 was going to complain if I won, so let's spin it again. Robert, congratulations.
Cool. Robert, hit me up on Instagram, and if you guys aren't following Southpaw Brad on Instagram, give him a follow too. He's I consider him a really good friend of mine now, and all that good stuff. But yeah, pretty fun show. Everyone head over to Kingdom of Nerds. They're going on live right now. I'm going to go head over there. I'll probably also be watching Tales from the Flip Side with Dino and all those good guys. Again, if you, Robert, hit me up on Instagram, Vertibird Nerd, same kind of moniker. And everyone, thanks for watching, and have a good rest of your week. We'll see you on Wednesday, hopefully, and Thursday, I think. I don't know. We'll see.
Have a good